All right, folks. So today you are giving your storytelling speeches this week. Some of you are signed up for today. Some of you have dates later in the week. And I wanted to give you a few like last minute tips, pieces of advice. First thing, if you feel nervous, anxious, etc., make sure that you go back to your plan. You had an anxiety plan, right? You told me what it was a few weeks ago. Go back to your anxiety plan and think about what are those things that I promised that I was gonna do. I need to go do them. And if you need more, do more. You might need more. You might find you're okay. But make sure you're doing those things. And another tip might be go talk about it with somebody. Send a text message. Talk to your roommate, whoever you live with. Sometimes just talking about it and just saying, "Hey, I feel anxious right now," can really be helpful. And then you take a step, and that step is giving your speech. That step might even be just getting to the Zoom, and then you take the next step, which is waiting for your turn, and the next step, which is giving your speech. So remember, that's how you're going to conquer whatever level of nervousness you have. I promise you, nobody's going to hurt you in the speech. That's the anxiety is your body having a physical reaction to a threat. But in the case of the anxiety, the threat isn't real, right? So you got to keep telling yourself that. It's just that your body can't tell the difference between a perceived threat and a real threat very well. So that's where you want to get the control over it emotionally. But thing is that you got to keep reminding yourself that that threat is not real. There's no nothing bad's going to happen to you in a speech. Won't happen. And another tip, in addition to talking it through with somebody, would be to make sure you rehearse. I do think rehearsing is probably one of the very best ways to to get a lot of your anxiety out. Some of it will come out while you're rehearsing, and then you're going to feel more confident while you're actually giving your speech because you're going to have a fallback. Some delivery tips. One thing I just thought of was use note cards if you need to. I do not want you reading from a piece of paper. That's a big no-no in public speaking. It looks tacky. It's super distracting. Also, do not read from the screen. Make some note cards if you didn't already do that. Have your speech planned out. That's what that outline is for you to know that's your plan. The outline is the plan for the speech, and then you put as much or as little as you need onto note cards so you can know what to talk about during your speech, especially in case you get nervous, and to make sure that you don't leave anything out. So make sure you have note cards, make sure you have a plan. Have a plan for where you're going to give the speech. If you might need to talk to roommates or family members and say, "Hey, I have a speech and I need the house to be quiet for like an hour." That's not too much to ask. And they could close the doors to rooms if you need to, if that's useful. Try to find a space where you can give your speech effectively. And also have a plan for how you are going to present. So everybody does need to stand up. We talked about that during the week on delivery. We are going to have students stand up to give their speeches. It is important that you learn this skill. It is not always the default in an online class, but it is the default in face-to-face public speaking. So we are going to have students you'll have an option for the informative speech, but for this first speech, the storytelling speech, it is required that you stand, and you will not pass the delivery component if you sit down. So make sure you're standing, and that might mean that you need to do some adjustments. Now you can sit while other people are presenting, no problem, but when it's your turn to speak, you might need to move your laptop around. You might need to get, a slightly better shot. Good light is useful. Like, did you notice how I had kind of bad light like this? Then I moved because I was like, oh, the light was better over here because the sun's coming from that way. Good light's useful, but if your light is like this, I'm not going to grade you down. It would just be better if you had it a little bit better. So think about those kinds of things, and also consider what's in your background. You don't want, try to be mindful of that. Another tip that might also help you, that's going to help both your delivery and potentially your anxiety, is make sure you are, one, wearing something that you're comfortable in, and two, that you feel is presentable. So I told students this semester, you're welcome to go casual, more casual than you would be in a normal face-to-face environment. But I do want you to avoid things like logo t-shirts, unless it's a logo that's like a professional logo. As in like a Butte College logo, or like the company you work for, like a polo shirt for that might be okay. But I want you to, no Sierra Nevada t-shirts, like those kinds of things. No, actually just changed my shirt because I had a logo shirt on that was not really the message I wanted to put into. It just wasn't like I would never wear it to class, so I'm not gonna wear it. I probably would. This is probably a little casual for class, but like this is presentable, you know. So make sure you're wearing something that is appropriate for the class. Another thing is please be on time. Now, I haven't had a lot of problems with people logging into Zoom late, but I do need you to be on time because I have back-to-back speeches all day, especially on Monday and Tuesday, literally all day back-to-back from like 8 in the morning until 7:30 at night. I have speeches and Zoom meetings. So please be on time. I have a schedule to maintain. There's students that are speaking after your session. We do need to start on time, and we will start on time even if people aren't there. So I will just carry on without you. So please be on time. And the last thing is to remember, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, this video is not quite perfect, right? But it's going to be my first take, and it's going to be my only take. Sometimes things are a little imperfect, and that's okay. What you really, you want it to be good, certainly, but sometimes there's also something for just getting the activity done. So I look forward to seeing your speeches. I love storytelling speeches, actually, because I always learn things about the students that are different, and the stories are typically kind of entertaining. So we're going to have a great week. You absolutely can do this. The storytelling speech is a fun, lighthearted activity. I have 100% faith in all of you that you can do this, and it's going to be great.